And without further ado, we got my brother from another mother, my brother Ken Bright. This brother right here does a lot for so many. We talk about unsung heroes. He's not the type of cat that you see taking photos and having press conferences and smiling up, posing with all the elected officials. But this brother has been doing a lot of stuff, including feeding a lot of the people that need to be fed, providing food. I know his work with recidivism, preventing recidivism. I'll let him talk a little bit about that. But this is my brother from another, Ken Bright from LPS, Life Progressive Services Group. Did I say that right, my brother?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. How are you?
I feel good, bro. Especially being here. I've been watching you for quite a while, and
Right. You've been on the show. You've been on the show.
Yeah, I was
You've been on this. When we was in the studio, you was on the show. You was on the show at least once or twice, right?
once, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well,
But
I don't know how long ago that was, but welcome back, though.
I appreciate you reaching out.
No doubt. So, I mean, I said a little bit of who you are and what you do, but for those who do not know you, please tell the people who you are, what LPS is about, and some of the work that you do, my brother.
Okay. First of all, as they know, my name is Ken Bright. I'm the director and founder of Life Progressive Services Group, which is the LPS group. And it consists of being a reentry transitional program for those who are formerly incarcerated,
Uh-huh.
not prisoners, not inmates, formerly incarcerated individuals who are citizens of our community. Even though they did the things that they did before they left, don't mean all of them going to do the same thing when they come home. However,
Right.
I started this reentry program back in 2004, but it became a nonprofit in 2010. What we try to do is obviously try to provide some type of services that are critical to their prevention of recidivism. We know that a lot of individuals are coming on, a lot of things is happening in the community, especially during this time of COVID. But individuals who do come home, they still need help. So I'm here to provide them some type of services, whether it's some type of just communication, listening to their issues, providing them some type of solutions, depending on what solutions they need, finding what type of skill sets they have and what skill sets they don't know they have, but they do have, and just link them into the right people or the right programs to get them forward. And you mentioned the food situation. The food program started in 2010, became a 501c3. And what it is, I took it as a preventive mechanism for those who are coming home, because I know of individuals who are coming home have absolutely nothing. But let me regress and go back. Me being a formerly incarcerated individual myself, I did 20 years incarcerated. But during my time in incarceration, when I first came, I was toxic. I was toxic like a lot of individuals I know who might have been there and who have transitioned to a better life and a better service at large. So what I did, once I got an education, I researched, did whatever I could do to get ahead, to keep from losing some type of insanity, because it's very easy to lose your insanity incarcerated. But I don't want to go too fast into it, but I know you got questions, so go ahead, because I can just ramble.
Right. One of the things, well, you talked about the previously incarcerated, and life pre-COVID, life was kind of rough for brothers and sisters coming out, trying to re 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 reform themselves into a society again, and COVID has made a lot of things even more difficult than they were before. If you could speak a little bit about that, because I know, like when we think about COVID, we think about people getting stuck at home. We don't think about those type of situations, you know.
Mhm. Well, I'm also part of a support group of advocates who also deal with RAP, which is also right now on the table of dealing with COVID.
Mhm.
And one of our pressing issues right now is to provide them the proper services or let them come home to get the services that they need. Because a lot of them who are uh, geriatric individuals who are incarcerated, who've been incarcerated for a very long time, they're no longer a threat to communities. These individuals have a lot of value to bring to a community. Not saying that all of them that in there have COVID, but they're vulnerable at this point. So
Mhm.
we need to just bring them home and provide them type of services and opportunities they can, and where the community can prevent from situations like this happening even further. We need individuals of the community to have some type of empathy and understand the bigger picture. You know, everybody that goes to become incarcerated don't remain criminalized or criminals. What happens is they become victims of criminality because we're talking about treatment, mistreatment within the system, and then negligence of providing the correct services that they need in order to properly transition into a human being as they are. But that they're doing is trying to dehumanize individuals who are incarcerated. I mean, it's nothing new. I'm just really preaching to the choir right now. But the
Right.
bottom line is that we really have to do things, not actually talk about it. You have to be about it. But go ahead.
No doubt, no doubt. Shout to one of the others, Kevin Sean Hope. He said, Hotep, we all do our part, the team. He said, progress, peace. And then he said, the team. Um, so I just wanted to bring that up because I know another thing I find Mount Vernon, a city like Mount Vernon. So like a lot of people, the homeless and other people that have issues throughout the county end up getting dumped into a city like Mount Vernon. And then there's less and less resources. You understand what I'm saying? And then, you got those people coming home. They once formerly incarcerated, they're coming home, and there's no resources for the people. Talk about why that's important. With the lack of the resources, for
Well,
people that are already out, and then the people that are getting out. That's a big issue in the city of cities like Mount Vernon, not just Mount Vernon.
let me explain this here. Let's go back to this. You have to always go to the root of the thing.
Right,
The bottom line is it's not designed to help you.
right, right,
It's not designed to help you. It's designed to keep the status quo going. We understand this is a slave plantation situation. We got to understand these things. If we don't understand and accept these things for what it is right in your face, then you're gonna miss the whole point. And your decision making or your judgment on individuals who are incarcerated is going to continue to be negative. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about families. We're talking about individuals who are leaving communities and not even considered as community citizens because the funding that these individuals get in the community as for census, they're counted upstate.
they counted where they're locked up, and they
They're
counted in
locked up
that.
so that
Yeah.
community benefits immensely off the labor and taxpayers' dollars off the backs of those who are incarcerated.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lorraine, you got a question? I want to let you get in there. You got. I saw you nodding your head. You have a question?
No, I just wanted to know what I had, what type of services. I know that he said referral services, and I know there's a food distribution program.
Mhm.
How how do they find you? Through a
Well,
probation or you go to the jail? How did they find you?
first of all, a lot of individuals come to me who might be mandated from the courts. I'm,
Okay.
I'm getting a lot of individuals who have to do community services, which brings me in contact not really with a lot of major uh, individuals who have dealt with serious crime, but nevertheless, there was a law broken and they have to, give community service. But it gives me an opportunity to speak to those who really never been incarcerated, but might have had alcohol or whatever, and the court assigned them to do community services. But it gives me a chance to really expand their imagination and their understanding of the whole dynamics of it.
Got it.
Because everybody in society is a victim of this here, whether they understand it or not, whether it's through their tax dollars or the fact is families directly that are impacted. What I try to provide is basically counseling, uh, workshops. I was planned on doing it, but COVID came into play, so that kind of dampened a lot of things up. But I found out that I still have an opportunity because I deal with a lot of volunteers who come to help out at my food pantry, and it gives me a chance to really expand their imagination to what's really going on. And not only that, this is a 24-hour thing and 24/7. So I'm always getting in communication with individuals who are formerly incarcerated, doing well. I deal with those who are formerly incarcerated and who are not doing too well. But the conversations that I have with them is not something that just, my discussion is always about growth. Let's put it that way. It's about growth. We don't have that luxury to have fun, really, to be honest with you. We really don't. Because a lot of things are pressing on us as a community, as a society. So it's really expanding even more. And let me explain this here. This is very important. We have individuals. One of the issues we're dealing with as far as advocacy is isolation. We're talking about those who are in the box. We're talking about those who are solitary confinement. And we hear these different things about these individuals being horrendous and put in the box and things of that nature. And we're talking about individuals who are in the box for about 10, 15, 20 years. We're talking about in a box without access of anything, services or anything. But now COVID is very interesting because COVID has forced individuals into some form of isolation in their homes, and they can't deal with it. And it has been noted through studies that isolation has affected certain families of being isolated in their house. This is why a lot of people can't stand it and they go out anyway. They're just refusing to accept the reality of what's possibly at play. So they're sacrificing themselves to that point. So I use that scenario because what happens to the individuals that's incarcerated and in the box for 10, 15, 20 years without type of contact services? At least those in communities who are in isolation have access to TV. They have access to radio. They have access to better food. It's a host of things that they have. So they're just really isolated in their own home with all the amenities that they need. But the individuals who are incarcerated in the box or in isolation don't have that luxury. And not only on top of that, you're dealing with racism in there. You're talking about individuals who are waking up in the middle of the night and beat down because they want to stress their views. And not only that, you have individuals who are basically losing their mind. Literally. And yet still there's parole that's coming up for that individual. Think about this. They have parole coming up. So the paperwork had been trumped up already on him when he presents himself to the parole board because he's coming from the box, going to the parole board. So the parole board is going to treat him, they're going to act as judge and jury as well, again. And they're going to go by the documents and paperwork that's written about these individuals, which might not even be true. But who's going to defend them? They're already incarcerated. So a lot of times their rights are removed. Now we're talking about, let's say if they let them back in the community without any training, any psychological treatment, no skill set, no education provided. What do you expect for them to do? I mean, we have common sense. So this is why I created the program, very simply, because I did 20 years and I understand what's at play. Once you understand the dynamics of what's at play, it's very easy to solve the problem. It's just a matter of actually getting behind it and doing it. But I understand people who are victims of crime. I understand how they might feel. But if they understand the system as a whole, they can begin and understand that these individuals that are committing the crime are also victims. People are going to do what they do depending on their education and the availability of opportunity. If they don't have those opportunity or the education, they're going to go to the next easiest thing. It's who's making the money, who's bringing the bags in, and they're going to go there. So you have to provide them opportunity if you want to change their mindset. The theme of my program is you change their mindset, you change their life. And this is what it's about. And let me explain this here. This is not just for those who are formerly incarcerated. We have individuals who are looking at Mount Vernon or looking at society as a whole. A lot of people are toxic who've never been to jail before in their life and have the highest education in the world. But they're toxic to the community. Their decision makings, their planning decisions. There's a lot of self-hate. There's a lot of racism, and we have to accept it for what it is.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but okay, so I need you to adjust your screen so you're higher up in the screen, because there's what I noticed a couple of people mentioned, there's a closed caption that comes up and the words are going over your face, so you're not high, you know.
Am I doing all right there?
You're getting lost behind. If you get higher, make yourself higher in the screen.
Oh, make me so high. I'll make this.
Yeah. Make you, yeah. And yeah, because there's words that there's a closed caption that comes across. I was wondering what everybody was talking about. I had to end up pulling it up on my phone so I can see what the people can see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't want you to get lost behind the words because a lot of what you're saying is very important.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
Ken, well, let me ask one more question. How old are these gentlemen that you work with? Like, what's the highest percentage of age range?
Well, I've had somebody come into the program who actually did 42 years incarcerated and 15 years in the box. Now, it so happens this individual basically was self-educated anyway, so he really held on to his sanity. But we know PTSD still is effective. But getting to your question, I deal with a range of individuals. There's no limit of the individuals I deal with. I'll deal with children, 15, 16, those who are basically on the cusp of going to incarceration, and those who are basically just coming home who are old. I mean, it's no age limit. I mean, the whole community is affected. It's just a matter of being able to connect with the individual's age and the person you're dealing with.
We got a comment from one of our viewers, April Frazier. What's up, April? She said, "What about the 14-year-old who got 25 years for being in the wrong place? How they are going to adjust after being raised in prison, and then having have parole, so they're still not free when they get out. Can you please look into something like that for juveniles who got long time?"
Well, see, that's that also borders on the situation of those who might be familiar with Khalif Browder.
Yes.
Browder, who did time when he was just arrested because of a book bag, and the fact is, he was abused while he was incarcerated, and he was never brought up on any charges.
Right, he didn't even go. Yeah, he didn't get charged. Yeah,
and he was abused inside by other individuals inside. Not only that, there's film showing where the police, the correction officers also participated in supporting him being traumatized by being beat up. It's horrendous. But her issue that she's bringing up, yes, that is a big issue. This is why we have to have prevention situations. You have to engage yourself with advocacy of changing the system, because they're not going to change it if you don't get behind. And there's many groups that are actually making leadways with changing the criminal justice system, the court system. So it's just a matter of having individuals who are capable of connecting with these individuals, these young individuals, because those of us who are formerly incarcerated are critical messengers. We actually know what is needed and what we can share with these individuals to change their mindset. But if the community do not embrace us and bring us in, you can bring all the professionals in the world to deal with these individuals. But if they never have been impacted themselves, where they can connect with these individuals, then they just there to get, to get checked, and it's really not going to really affect them or be effective as they could be if it was somebody who was actually incarcerated and experienced those situations, who can actually pinpoint and talk about the issues that they have actually came out of.
Right.
And then it builds their confidence. You have to get their confidence. Once you get their confidence, you can take them anywhere. But the fact is to take them what makes them a better individual.
I got somebody else. They're gonna come in real quick and say a couple of words. Now, I saw a bunch of stuff online about you having to move from the location that you've been in for a while. And actually, one of our listeners actually asked that question: have you found a new location? But I want to bring in Miss Lisa, who has been advocating for you all over Facebook.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lorraine. Hey, like your hair, Lorraine.
Thank you. I like you. Oh, hey, Lisa.
Thank you. Hi, AJ.
How are you? I became aware of the situation where I guess he might have to move locations because of the post that you posted on Facebook.
Yeah, and I am happy to announce that an anonymous donor that Ken found has paid the rent for the entire year.
Wow, that's awesome.
If we had an applause button, we don't got no applause button like we did in the studio. I just got to clap for you. Clap. Like, that's what's up.
So that means that I can move on to the next job, which is raising money to help Ken buy a new van, because his van is really, it's past its last legs. It lost its last legs a long time ago.
So I want to catch people up. So for people that don't know, it didn't read your post. What was the situation? You had to move from a location that you were already in for a while, and if you would like to speak a little bit about that, just so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very simple. The owner of the building, he needs his rent. Very simple. He's been very, should I say?
Generous.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. He's very generous for over the years I've been here. So what I had to do was actually put out, the fact is that I needed funding to continue the work that I do.
Okay.
So that's basically what it is. But there's so many other things. The operation costs, and like Lisa mentioned, there's the van that is on its last leg. Might have to crawl out at some point. But the fact is that there's many levels to this here. There's many nuts and bolts to this here in order to make it happen and continue to happen. So I'm still seeking support and financial support from individuals to help, because teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
You have to understand, and I try to stress this: we have to learn to be each other's cheerleaders. And a lot of people might not like that term, but I use it for the simple fact is it means the same point of each of us have to do our part to help each other. This is not a solo thing. This is a community thing. This is it's a national thing. I mean, it's very simple to see it around us that we have to help each other out. And a lot of people have a misconception of the word usage. I just want to throw this in there. We're here to be on this planet to be used. People use the term very, very crazy. The key is not to be misused or abused. We're here to be servants to each other. Servants means to be used.
Right.
The fact is, make it happen. If it's benefiting individuals and it's benefiting your community, how can you not latch on behind it? Because if you don't, what happens is the community starts to decay, immorality, morals start to drop. It's a host of issues that takes place. It's a domino effect. Okay.
So Lisa, How long have you been involved with Ken's project? What drew you to that? What made you want to bring attention to his fundraising needs? What made you want to get involved in that?
Well, I met Ken about a year ago at Sean Patterson Howard's inaugural celebration.
Okay.
And shortly after, I became very interested and involved in some of the criminal justice reform issues. When you think about it, we can't change what happened in people's lives in the 90s, in the early 2000s, in the 80s. What we can change is what they're experiencing today while they're incarcerated and what happens afterwards. And what Kate does is so important because reentry is critical. You know, we failed people and we still are failing people before they get to prison. Well, when they are released from prison, we're not doing nearly enough to support them. I mean, I looked for federal grants. There was one federal grant program that closed 2 years ago. I mean, there's really not enough focus on supporting people while they are incarcerated to leave and helping them reenter the community. And what Ken provides is, you know, the practical kinds of things like helping people write resumes, helping people practice for interviews, helping people get clothing so that they have something to wear for interviews, helping people have food, you know, helping people fulfill their basic needs. But more important than that, he's providing support and a community. You know, when I first got interested in criminal justice reform, a formerly incarcerated person said, people who hurt, hurt. And what Ken does is try to take that hurt away and make people feel supported and wanted and loved and channel their energies towards good. And it's a wonderful thing. And he doesn't take anything for himself. You know, he's in a basement in Mount Vernon, and what he's built is incredible. And then when COVID hit and he expanded his food distribution beyond the formerly incarcerated to anybody in the community who needs it. I mean, he's doing amazing, amazing work.
Yeah, and so I asked her when I saw you. I saw you online when I shared that he was going to be on. And I asked you to come on if you'd like to say a couple of words. You know, I think people need to hear from others. You know, it's one thing when we talk about some things we do, but when you see the effect that you're having on others and how others look at you, I think sometimes that's important too. So I thank you for coming, Lisa. I appreciate you, and thank you for tuning into the show.
Thanks for having me, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Lisa. All right.
Bye.
So, my brother, I'm getting a lot of another follow-up question from the young lady who asked that question about the 14-year-old.
Yeah.
She asked a follow-up question. She said, well, she made a statement. Me, myself, I try to have my son talking and dealing with men that I know who did time and got out and I guess like you were saying, the credible messages. And she wanted to look into some kind of mentoring nonprofit set up for long-term incarcerated men and women to be a guide for those who are getting out. I think that would be a good thing. There's something I'm looking into starting. I see the need, which would be mentors, especially for juveniles who had long time.
Well, that's noble. But now the thing is where is she located at? And
I think she grew up with where I used to live in Long Island. I think she might be in Atlanta now, though. But
okay.
She might be in the Atlanta area now. Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. She would have to really locate somebody in Atlanta, an agency that's in Atlanta that's also dealing with those who are formerly incarcerated. She has to network individuals. She can also reach out to the Correction Association of New York. I don't have the information in front of me right now. She can locate the Correction Association of New York, and they can probably tap her into somewhere because they're more nationally known.
Right.
They're in Manhattan now, Correction Association, and You can get a hold of Talib Muhammad or Terrell Muhammad, either one, and then some other people.
So let me, and so many questions. You were giving out so much information. I had so many questions I wanted to ask you, but I didn't want to interrupt you, and I'm trying to remember them. Uh,
Yeah, I can
but
be long-winded on this here.
no. But the people need to hear this, and I wanted to get back to this because actually somebody brought it to my attention. Our show is called People Before Politics. And when they get around election time, all you see is all these elected officials and candidates. They was like, I see the politics, what happened to the people? So we trying to get back to these kind of interviews we were doing. Probably when you came on in the beginning, we used to do a lot of this, focusing on the issues. And I definitely wanted to highlight, I didn't know about your good news, but I'm very happy. Now, let me ask one question, a new question. For anyone who's seeing this for the first time, coming across your organization or you for the first time, and maybe they might want to donate, is there a way for the viewers here to donate to the organization to help you continue the work you're doing?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Everybody know about Facebook. I'm pretty much on there a lot of times. So it's usually where you can donate their network for good. You have @Blue, which is ACTBLUE. That's the donation at Life Progressive Services Group. You pulled me up. Then we have Cash App. You can use the Cash App symbol, Bright Decisions.
Okay.
Then you have Zelle, which is you can use Zelle, which is the LPS Group Incorporated. Or if you want to send a check or a money order, you can send it to 47 South 5th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, in care of Life Progressive Services Group. 47 South 5th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550.
What I'm probably, if you can text me all of that, when I post this on Black Westchester, I like to list that below. So, I'm sure maybe for people that didn't have a pen or might watch this later. So if they want to donate, because, I say all the time, we need to support our Black businesses. We definitely need to support our Black businesses. And we especially need to support programs like and organizations like yours. That's as important to the community as supporting your Black businesses because of the services that you provide to a lot of people that they have nowhere else to go to get these services. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true. That's very true. And what happens is, like I said, it's a domino effect. If individuals don't have access to food and things that they need, the businesses will pay for it because individuals will come right into their store or their establishment and do what they have to do to get what they get. So it's a domino effect. You can't look at this as a one-sided situation. That's why they call the term community. Everybody has to be connected. If you're not going to be connected, then you're part of the problem.
Absolutely. Nancy Cater Maldonado and Keisha Munn. Yes, I'm definitely going to post this. They're asking me, can I post the information? When I asked you, send me the donation information so I can post it. I have a couple of people that are watching right now that are waiting for me to post it so they can be a blessing to you.
Okay. Ken can also type it in right now too as we're speaking, right in the comments.
Yeah, but I want to post it. I'm going to post it also on Black Westchester.
I'll run through it again. I'll run through it again right now.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll run through it so Lorraine can get it. Okay, Cash App, you can do Cash App Bright Decisions. Bright Decisions with an S. Then you have @Blue, ACTBLUE, and it's under Life Progressive Services Group. Then you have Facebook. Everybody know me as Ken Bright on Network for Good. You can send a check by Zelle, whether it's through Chase Bank or whatever bank, the LPS Group Incorporated. Or you can send a money order or check to the address, which is 47 South 5th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550.
And we're going to post all this on Black Westchester again. So anybody who's not catching this, they can just, copy and paste right off the website. So we want to definitely provide that information, man.
But I do want to say something regarding the community, because, like I said, it's a domino effect. This is a community, and I'm
Yes,
speaking to all the politicians or the potential politicians.
yes,
I mean, it's really disheartening. Me, because I was raised in Mount Vernon at a very young age before I went into crime, and I moved. But what I want to say is that Mount Vernon have to do better. I've been here for a long time, 20 something years I've been here. And listen, the politicians, ministers, masons, secret societies, sororities, all of y'all got to come together because y'all acting like gangs. We need a truce? No, we need everybody to come together. It's very simple. People need help. The community needs to be looked at better because Mount Vernon has a lot of potential. It's always had and it's shown a lot of potential in it. So to see it to lose its credibility and people constantly attacking each other, I mean, it has to stop at some point. Why should somebody from the outside of the community have to come in and to take control of your situation, which is your community? That's carrying into a stereotype that y'all have no control when y'all have power. You cannot handle the power. People are trying to do things. If the man in position to do things, I understand people have their opinion on this, their opinion on that. But the bottom line is, it's about people again. It's not about you individually or your clique as misused. It's not about you. It's about the community as a whole. That's all I'm asking for. And just pleading for people, get your act together. That's most important. Come together. Put your issues on the back burner so the people can move in the forefront.
absolutely. Go ahead, Lorraine. Lorraine got something?
Well, no, speaking of community, can you tell us where you do the food pantry?
Oh, sure.
And also you're looking for volunteers for the food distribution as well, right?
Yeah, there's two people I was looking for, administrative assistant and food coordinator, volunteer coordinator. Somebody to coordinate all the volunteers that come in, handle their schedules and things of that nature. Yes, and the address is 47 South 5th Avenue. That's between 1st and 2nd Street, down the block from City Hall. It's across the street, directly through the parking lot of Grace Church.
And when are you there?
Well, we're here basically 3 days a week, sometimes 4.
Wow.
It depends on whether we have, well, what has taken precedence over our reentry is the food. That has been moved in the forefront because of COVID. So a lot of people ask me when. I can't really tell them when a lot of times because it depends on, one, the weather, and it depends on if we have enough food. So I'm not going to come out with, like 10, 15 bags when I got 30, 40 people online. It won't work like that. And I don't like to turn people away. And I want to give people equal food. That's the key. And like I said, there's a lot of people, but I'm here like Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays sometimes, and Saturdays. But we usually try to hand out food on Saturday at 12 o'clock. But you have to come earlier than that, as everybody knows. Sometimes I hand out on Wednesday. Depends on how much we have. Because if I have enough by Wednesday, I'll hand out. Because I don't want to be back holding food that's going to come in, new food that's going to come in. I like to keep it rotated. So I make sure the food that's fresh coming in goes in, and that which has been held for a minute goes out.
I know you're out there a lot because it's like every other day I see one of your posts. Yeah.
We try to be consistent. People have to eat consistently. So,
Yeah.
So and I understand the situation because when I was incarcerated, when I came home, I needed help. I needed help. So, and I worked at a food pantry and I learned and understood it. And this is why I was working on Wall Street. This is what I did as a side thing, working and volunteering in the food pantry in Manhattan. When I left Wall Street, I didn't get a chance to get into that. But when I left Wall Street, I started this program with my little decision because I know the great need of it.
So let me ask you one question. Let me ask you one question. So you're not going to have to move now. You're going to be able
No.
to stay where you are.
Yeah, I'll be able to stay. So what
Okay,
I'm
no,
just
I just want to be clear because that's the address you're giving. So I wanted to make sure.
right.
That's what Lisa said.
Yeah, it is. Right,
Okay.
47 South Fifth Avenue. We're still
Yeah.
there. Thank God we're still here, and thank God to the former mayor Ernest Davis that we're still here.
Shout out to former Mayor Ernest Davis. Absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
I want to say this here because I've been doing this here now, like I said, for 20 years. I mean, I paid little money, but I haven't paid enough to him where he deserved. But understand, I would have been able to help a lot of people if it wasn't for his support. It really, you know what I'm saying? And if you remember, I created a division in my program, which is those who are displaced by fire or any type of traumatic situation where his wife Betty Davis is
Yeah,
also honored in that on that behalf. So when somebody's in a fire and they need help, it's because of Betty Davis is when I created that to give those. What we do, we will provide blankets, we provide food, and we provide a teddy bear or something soft for a child who was in the fire who was traumatized. So we give them the walk with something they can cuddle and cradle to. So this is what we do.
I think that's one of the first articles we did. I don't know if y'all were honoring her. I'm not sure. I think maybe Cynthia wrote the article, but and the pictures you and Mrs. Davis and two other people.
Yeah,
I forget
the
the
fire
story, but I think you
department.
were honoring her or something. Yeah, the
Yeah,
fire
we
department. Right.
it's the fire department. Yes, it was the fire department and emergency services department in City Hall at that time.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yo, people need to see. You know, we applaud celebrities. We applaud athletes, you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
for playing games. You understand what I'm saying? We applaud our actors and actresses. In our community we even celebrate the drug dealers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the cats that's doing the work, the good men and women that are doing the work, like what y'all don't get celebrated enough. And that's what this is about right now. Black Westchester, people before politics wanted to celebrate you. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? We celebrate the achievements of people who have passed in Black history. We need to celebrate the achievement of people that are doing the work right now. You know, my mother always said to me, my mom's passed just before we started Black Westchester. She always said, "Give me my flowers while I'm alive to smell them." You know what I'm saying? And this is us giving you your flowers, my brother. You know what I'm saying? So
I appreciate it, and I give my regards to Brother Damon as well because I know
yes,
he's your
yes, yes.
partner in starting that.
Yes,
And
yes, he couldn't make it. So, you know, he's
yeah,
running around doing some cupcake stuff with Montica, so he couldn't make it. And,
oh,
and Dr. Bob sends his apologies. Bob Baskerville, I had him running with me all weekend, giving out doing the papers, and then he had to do some stuff with his moms. So he's resting today. So he's not
I,
here today.
I can dig it.
Yeah,
He's got
yeah.
work
So
to do.
yeah, I've been working, Dr. Bob, man. We've been running around. We was running around everywhere, giving out distributing these papers, man. So shout out to my man who be holding me down, Dr. Bob. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything? Oh, you know, I just wanted to make this point. Um, you know, we talk about those incarcerated. We talk
Hmm.
about the condition of men.
Hmm.
We never think about. There was this one woman, I forget her name. I have a video of her on Black Westchester,
Hmm.
and when she was talking about what the women have to deal with,
Hmm.
yo, it just broke my heart. Like, I mean, like it just the conditions they have to deal with, stuff that I didn't even think about. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, yo,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the rules are made by men. So you know what I'm saying? Who don't understand the conditions that they go through. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to
So is
shout
the
that out. Like I didn't want to
yeah,
overlook mentioning them.
yeah. Let me speak on that. That's that. Yeah. I mean, it's unethical. It's immoral. Why would I mean? But now at the same time, women who are also inside there with the correction officer within corrections can be just as worse as the men. So I mean, it works both ways, you
Right.
know. But they don't. They're not treating them as humans. It's always about dehumanizing individuals and stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? It's about, I mean, a person who committed a crime to come to jail and goes to jail, that doesn't define who their heart is or who they are. You know, these are people who are hurting and crying out for help. I mean, some people cry out for help different ways, and people got to understand that. So this is why a lot of times when the police show up on a scene of a crime, it's very important that social workers be there as well. You know, you just can't have brute force coming in dealing with a situation that's very sensitive and dealing with mental health. Mental health is a very big issue, and it's going to get worse as time go on because of the trauma that people are experiencing every day in their own world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people strike out at individuals, but it might not even been about you. A lot of times you was that person who brought it out. People got issues. There's trauma on top of trauma for people. So the key is connecting with these individuals and having some type of empathy and understanding to communicate with these individuals. Reach individuals where they're at. That's what's upset. Like, a lot of times people just want to be heard. They just want to talk somebody to talk to.
Right.
And I get a lot of that. They just want to talk. Somebody who they think has some type of reasoning in their character to provide them with the right information.
Right.
Not no illusions.
And that's it's important what you just said about mental health. We have a lot of issues of mental health and issues in the Black and brown community before COVID. Now, COVID has exposed a lot of this, and there's a lot less resources. And what you said about a social worker, and I want to be clear because the Republicans and others have co-opted the message of the people that were talking about defunding the police. They were not talking about, the original people were not talking about getting rid of police. What they were talking about, and police officers have also said this before, they are being asked to step up in areas where the county or the government has failed to provide services, and they are the only ones available. And it's all situations don't require a badge and a gun. You understand what I'm saying? And the police are not qualified, or better, some use a better word, trained to deal with people with mental issues. You know what I'm saying? Mental health issues. So that's we get these situations and stuff. If you and some of the funding, the police get their raises and whatever and everything. And when they put these budgets, they need to include like a social worker type of situation or in other situations to be able to answer those calls as well, because I think that will go a long way. And like I said, COVID has just exposed what has always been going on in our communities as it is. Now it's a bigger story now because of COVID. And then it made other people have to deal with the mental issues of being, from COVID. So,
Listen, COVID has been a curse and a blessing at the same time.
Absolutely.
Because what it did, it exposed our vulnerability. It exposed the shenanigans. It exposed racism, as you were speaking on, basically. But what most importantly it did, is forcing people to become more humble and understanding to individuals. You have individuals who are doing well before COVID. I mean, doing well, who are actually coming to me on food bank. People need help. And we cannot discriminate against anybody or underestimate individuals, because you have individuals who need and will not even come to the food bank because they're worried about their character being recognized or being used against them. People have to break off or get off this pedestal and be honest with themselves that if you need help, come to get help. Whether it's psychologically, whether it's food-wise, counseling, anything. Reach out to individuals and get that help. But when you're speaking about it revealed right now, yes, everything is being revealed right now. All the covers are being removed on everything across the world. So you really can't, it's like you can't play the middle no more. You have to pick your side right now. There is no middle. You for people and the community, or you're against the people and the destruction of your community. There is no more middle. You used to be able to dance and play the middle. One side, you play rock one side, go to the other side, rock another side. But you can't do that no more because people are smarter today. You know what I'm saying? You can't run the same blueprint that you used to use. People can see. It's it's transparent. It's transparent. That's why it's very important. Just be honest and be real. I mean, I'm formerly incarcerated. I'm giving it to you from where I got it from.
Mhm.
And that's another thing. People underestimate those who are incarcerated.
Well, when you does incarcerated mean more than one night in jail? Like
No,
incarcerated mean long term?
no,
Or
incarceration means just being locked up, period. Now,
oh my God.
how much time you do depends on that judge when they give you that time. And then it depends on you when you're inside, how much time you're gonna do.
So
But then,
I've been incarcerated. Uh,
where at? Where at? Incarcerated with county jail? Okay.
I spent the night and down the river over here in Yonkers.
Okay, all right, okay. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure you learned some things.
No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Thank God it wasn't.
And shout to our brother, Dr. Bob Baskerville, who tells his story often. He, got involved in that street life, and he ended up being incarcerated for a period of time.
Yeah.
Got out, got his life together, went back to school. Now he's a professor. You know what I'm saying? He's teaching at the schools now. You know what I'm saying? And and if he doesn't tell that story, when you see him and you hear him, you would never know that he was incarcerated. You would never know if he didn't tell you.
And I bet you there's a lot of folks that you've worked with that are just like Dr. Bob today, right?
Well,
I mean, not
Dr.
Bob is unique, but
I have a lot of allies and other formerly incarcerated individuals who are doing magnificent
success stories, right?
Magnificent things.
That's
and
nice.
the thing about it, in all these particular communities, these individuals a lot of the politicians have to come on board and understand the need of these critical thinkers and critical messengers and those who are returning to the community with master's degrees, doctorate degrees, whatever certification that they have. And what happens is the best part of it, they understand both sides of the railroad. We understand both sides. We understand the crime.
Yeah.
And we understand civil. We understand that. We understand the working world. We understand what's needed. So what happens is our position becomes very valuable. Very valuable.
Our next guest is here, but two things. All the information that you said, just send me that either an email or a text, so I can post it on Black Westchester. So I can post it.
Yes,
and is there any question, anything I didn't ask you in closing that you want to add?
No, just for people to think about what I say and do good. Get rid of all that toxicity that's there. Get rid of all that's all toxic. And our children, and the babies and children are watching. Don't think they don't recognize. The children recognize who love them in the community. Children know who cares about them.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not stupid.
Yeah.
And they might not say nothing, and then when they strike out in the community, they're striking out because y'all are toxic. The apple ain't too far from the tree, but okay. Thank you. And thank you all. Peace and blessings.
No doubt, my brother. And anytime you got something that you need to get out, you let us know. You know what I'm saying? Utilize us open door policy. I would like to have you on more often. It's probably been like 4 or 5 years since your last appearance. I'd like to not make it that long before your next appearance. So, and I just want to applaud you again for all the work that you are doing. And
Thank you to Lisa.
I'm gonna talk you offline. Because I think I have at least one suit that I'm not wearing that I can probably donate when you come out of the COVID. That for someone who needs it for going on job and stuff.
I know you lost a lot of weight, man.
Well, I lost some of it and I found some of it, so I got to get back to it. But I did find some of it back though. Yeah. But so yeah, I'll definitely go through my stuff, and I want to make that happen. To be a part of that as well.
Yeah, Lorraine,
We'll talk
professional clothing as well.
Huh?
Professional clothing for women as well.
Okay, I will remember that.
Are you looking for some?
Yes, we can use some. Yes, professional
All right.
clothing when they're looking for jobs.
Absolutely, and we'll talk offline, my brother.
Yes,
and congratulations, on everything. And again, we just wanted to applaud you for all that you do, and give you your flowers while you're still alive. You know what I'm saying? And celebrate you. We don't have to wait for people to die to celebrate them in Black history. We need to celebrate our brothers while they're doing work now. So
and our sisters. That's right.
Brothers and sisters. I'm sorry. Yes. Absolutely. All right, my brother.
Thank you.
All right.